Improbable reels up from the plain, standing tall in the rarefied sky. Once we crawled along its base, it seemed these cliffs could never be climbed. Unattainable heights, they tower above, drive the bravest man to give up. We know it has been scaled before, but how? Can you tell me, do you comprehend? Look around the other side, and you will reach a distant land. Who would have thought that you would find a gradual ascent? How do we feel it? Let us not just wait.
Hello YouTube folks. Finally, we are looking at the next batch of Joyo Ironman pedals. And thanks to David Grant from Joyo Audio UK, who sent me some t-shirts so I can wear them and actually, represent Joyo. Again, I'm not, paid for this, which is a bummer because how cool would that be? Well, I'm having fun. And hopefully one day all these companies send me stuff for free and, I sit in a big pile of equipment. Wait! How cool is that? Yeah, I know, it's kind of cool. I wish I could call that a job, but I don't. So, by the way, on all these videos, if you find something you like, and there is a link under the video, I would highly appreciate it if you use that link, because it might benefit me. I might get some Amazon points, or I might get something from Thomann. They give you Thomann points or whatever it is. So, if you love me, and I know you do, then support me by clicking the link below to purchase the item of your choice. Okay, we're looking at the Joyo, the Ironman Clean Glass. That's what it's called. Really cool. We got the little lid, so you can't, change your settings by accident. And the little knobs, as you can see how big they are relative to my finger, are actually nicely operatable. I don't know if that's a word. Nice to operate. You can clearly see the settings. So even though the pedal is very, very small, it's functional. So these next 5 Ironman pedals are pretty much amp simulators. What does it mean? It means you can put them directly into a console or directly into your audio interface and record with them. How good does that sound? Not as good as an amp. It's impossible to, for 50, 60 bucks, however much these are, to actually get the performance of a setup that's worth several thousand, including an amp, a speaker, a microphone, good cables, good preamp, and all this. And what's missing is the air that's moving. But it's frequency corrected. I think the high end could be rolled off a little bit more, but that's all up to taste. And in this video, at the end, I'm going to show you an excerpt of the video where you see all 5 pedals in direct mode. But something you can do if you record them, to treat them afterwards, which means I EQ'd a little bit. You can hear it direct, but you can also hear it EQ'd with a little bit high-end roll-off, some reverb. You can hear it with 3 different cab simulators. One built-in into Cubase, so that's free, and then Native Instruments, and then kind of a high-end from Universal Audio, the Ocean Way plugin. And all give you different results. In context, the results are very pleasing, and you can absolutely use this if you don't have a big-ass studio, to record direct into the computer, or even for a rehearsal direct into the board. I would be doing you and Joyo a disservice if I only showed the direct application, because I think in front of an amp, these pedals are insane. Now, I'm gonna go out on a limb, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking this is pretty much a tiny version of the American sound, which is here the Harley Benton version, but the Joyo American is, a clone from an American company that did these direct pedals of all these different amps. Now Joyo went ahead and tried to put this in a small package. It's pretty much all there, the voice is there, the level, the drive. What's missing is the 3-band EQ. Now we have a tone knob. The 3-band EQ on these big pedals was great and very flexible. So if you're looking for more flexibility and you don't mind the size, you might be, willing to look at the American for this, we can call it, Fender type sound. But if you want something really tiny for your pedal board and in front of your computer, the Clean Glass might be for you. Now I'm testing this with a LSL Strat, because we're looking at a Fender type, twin, whatever, deluxe reverb, something like that. They're different, clean sound. Cutting, like clean glass. And this obviously doesn't have a lot of output, but I thought this is the best guitar to test that kind of sound. But I'm going to show you with an Ibanez Gem for more output. And this is going through very nice cables. It's powered by the Power Supply 2 from Joyo. It's going straight into the Sir Badger head, which is going into the Sir Badger 112 cab. It's loaded with the veteran 30 speaker from Warehouse. And that's being mic'd with an SM57 close miking, and right next to it is a very inexpensive RM700 ribbon mic from Thomann, and both of them get mixed together. So it's a relatively inexpensive mic setup, but that's going into a €2,000 preamp from Universal Audio, this 4710D, that's going into a Fireface 800 and into Cubase 7.5 on 2 different tracks. So that's the setup. There are still people asking me under the videos, so what's your setup? I'm like, do you not watch these things? No offense to you guys, but come on. I know you might be skipping, but don't skip and then ask. That's just dumb. Come on. So. Oh. Good. Oh, I added a little bit reverb in that intro from the Flint from Strymon. Because, come on, you want some reverb. And we got it dry. One more thing, packaging, as you know, you've seen it in the slideshow. Pretty much everything you need to know in the slideshow. Why are you even watching this? Very nice packaging, very nice boxing. Feels like, you're buying something of high value. And obviously, which is very cool, and I'm going to take credit for that because I told Joyo to do that. From 3M, so this is good shit. You got your choice of rubber or Velcro bottom, which means you get the thing, you can say it goes on my board. Velcro, I want it on the ground, not to slip. Rubber, very nice. So all the details are there, and we're gonna look at the controls right now. This is where the demo starts. If you want to see the direct sound, skip to the end. Should be times in the beginning. So we got a tone knob, we got a drive, that's pretty clear. The tone pretty much, is a high-end. How much high-end it has? A high-end roll-off, let's call it that. You've got the drive knob, and on the voice knob described on the other pedals, the era of amp. Further to the left, you had an older amp, and further to the right, a more modern amp. That's not really what it does. It gets richer in the mids, but it also adds drive. Maybe because it's pushing the circuit harder. I got no clue about that stuff. So, anyway, the voice does change the sound, but it also adds more gain. So work with it in conjunction with the drive knob to dial in your tone. And then, of course, there's level to adjust it to your amp, which in clean will sound like this. By the way, it has 2 lights, simply because you want that Joyo logo to light up. Now, I gotta bitch you a little bit. That was a problem I had to answer a lot to, and I did some tests and whatever. These pop. It says bypass on these, so apparently they're buffered or something, and there's some kind of something stored, electricity. Some user explained that to me. I don't quite understand it fully. And when you engage it, there's a little bit of a pop. Now, these say true bypass, but there's still of a pop when you turn them on and off. See? Actually, only when you turn it on. Now, if you're in the middle of playing and you hit the chord and you pop in the pedal, it's not a problem at all. If you want to do this quietly, in between sets, there'll be a pop. Not sure if that is avoidable or not, but it is something you should be aware of. So, and we're gonna go kind of lefty here and play a clean sound. Oh, amp clean, I'm sorry. And we're engaging. Gotta get some volume in there. That's a little bit more bite to the amp, but only a tiny bit. dirt. It's a very nice dirt pedal. No question about that. Gotta of course be careful with the high end because it's called clean glass. It's cutting. But you see, I have the gain quite a ways up and it's still not really screaming because the voice knob is down. So let's get the gain back down and the voice knob up. Gets warmer because of course the mids are coming in. Beautiful for open chords, beautiful for, you know, this transparency in a slightly driven sound. Let's drive it more. This is a good drive pedal for in front of an amp, no question about it. Whether there is a speaker simulator always on or not, I don't give a flying rat's ass. However you give that, maybe you catch the rat and then chop it off, and then it was a rat's ass, it was flying at one point, and then you give it to someone as a guest gift or something, you know, and then you have given a flying rat. I don't know, you decide. We need some delay. Let's punch in the El Capistan from Strymon. I could do this all day. Let's quickly switch and look at some humbucker options. Here we are in clean. unmuddies it immediately. It gets more open. I have no idea what I'm playing. What am I doing? Not quite in tune, but you get the point. It can rock if you needed to. Now, I got so many comments on this one and on these amp simulators. Well, you didn't do a direct test, which then I started doing. And then people still came up with things they wanted to know. Well, how do they work with other pedals in front of them? Frankly, never occurred to me to do that. Because you need an amp to shape the sound of a pedal. You need something tube-ish. This is not as dynamic as a tube amp. I would not put another pedal in front of it to push this. There's no tubes to be pushed. Frankly, I don't want to do this in a review like this. But then I was asked, what does it sound like directly into the power amp of an amp? Because it's supposed to be a preamp. If the amp's got a good clean sound, I don't see the point. But we'll do it just to shut you guys up. Here we go. Okay, this is what it sounds like if I go into the power amp directly with the guitar. You know, there's nothing shaping the sound, it's pretty much just making the guitar louder. It's too much thump in the low end, kind of similar to the direct sound. I kind of liked it when the EQ of the amp was, you know, doing something to that. Nope. If you ask me, put it in front of your tube amp, if you have transistor, but have your amp help shape the sound a bit, then this is an amazing pedal for the price, which gives you the option of also, of course, plugging it in directly. Plug in the hole directly. I sound like a complete moron sometimes, but it's also incredibly hot here, so woo! Okay, we're going into the direct sound right now, and then you won't see me anymore. I'm just gonna say goodbye right now. This is the excerpt from the video where you see all of them direct, and I'm sorry this was long again, but you guys want to know it all. Well, what if you put it in and you only use humbucker, so the single coil, and you only use single coil, use humbucker. My videos are getting so long because you numbnuts want it like that. So shut your trap if it's too long. Your fault. You request, I deliver, so shutty! See ya. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna listen to the clean glass in different settings by itself, straight into Cubase, nothing EQ'd, nothing done to it. Here we go. Okay, hello, and we're back. Level. We're gonna say the level's fine. Okay, now we did the following. Why am I saying we? This is me. Okay, I'm using Universal Audio's Millennia EQ. It's a nice subtle EQ. And as you can see, the only thing I did here is I rolled off 10K right here. At about 10 dB. So this is what it sounds like without. And I'm taking off the really spiky kind of high end. Going a little bit more in a speakery direction. So that's what you can do just with rolling off the high end and adding a little bit of room. So let's listen to that. By the way, I will be showing all these things again and again, just in case you wanted to jump to a specific pedal and you didn't see all of this. So I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but it is necessary. Okay, now we're looking at the VST amp rack. And since I already have my amp, which is the Ironman pedal, I am turning the amplifier off. So I'm going... There's different options here. I'm going to no amplifier, okay? And I'm just turning on a cabinet. In this case, I'm picking a Fender Deluxe 112. And that's what it is. Same track, just going through that. So let's figure out what that sounds like. is... Okay, next we got Guitar Rig, and that's of course Native Instruments rather high-end amp simulator, and all we're doing is we're turning on the cabinet. So I got it on an American 212. Do I have a 112? Nope, we got an American 212. That should be fine. We got certain mics on that. It was pretty much what was the basic setting, and I turned up the air just a little bit to give it some room. That's what it sounds like. Okay, moving on to Universal Audio's Ocean Way plugin. Again, I picked the V setting, which is meant to be a 112 kind of voxy speaker. And I've got all studio mics on, so I'm close miking this, but I also have 2 sets of stereo mics further in the studio. And this is what it sounds like. As you can see, very, very distinctly different sounds that can be achieved with different speaker simulations. Now, by itself, the direct signal isn't really impressive to me, but in context, it is really not so bad. So we got a backing track here which sounds by itself like this. So what I'm going to do is just play some power chords over this. And what you see here in neon green is the direct signal, and then it is switching to the 112 setting of the Ocean Way, just to show you what the difference would be in a context. And here we go.